sun is starting to shine here on Rocky Top. Coming up, we'll show you how to protect your skin.
But my body was breaking down. It was burnout. There was no other way to describe it. I was going too hard, too long, for too many months.
Also, we'll continue to dive deeper into burnout and what the beginning stages might look like.
So mine was put on the tow truck, and I basically got back in time before they took it away. So I was able to pay for them to drop it right there, but that was a stressful situation, and I was fortunate. I didn't have to go elsewhere to find my car, but it was still frustrating seeing it on the tow truck.
And why students need to watch where they park.
Thank you for joining us for TVC Plus. I'm Emma Kostal.
And I'm Molly Pokewalt. To start us off, the College of Emerging and Collaborative Studies held its dedication ceremony on Tuesday.
The new college will feature majors in artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and data science. A set of drones helped deans and UT administrators in the ribbon cutting, and Chancellor Dondi Plowman spoke on behalf of the university on Keck's collaboration within the technology industry. TVC was fortunate to speak to Keck's Dean Uzlum Killick after the ceremony.
I'm hoping we will lean more into this success with partnership and show the rest of the world that higher ed can actually cross the silos and work together to launch things timely.
Killick and Plowman toured Keck's facilities in the Claxton complex, equipped with robots, 3D printing, and learning spaces. The college hopes to become a hub for all UT students interested in technology and forging their own paths.
Now, Molly, the weather here has been warming up this week, and Tennessee baseball has a big weekend series against the Ole Miss Rebels in Lindsey Nelson Stadium.
That's right, Emma. So let's head over to weather specialist Gail Fanning for a look at what to expect this weekend.
Thanks, guys. This weekend's weather will be a little bit all over the place. While today will be partly sunny, we will be preparing for some rain coming from the Midwest. This will hit us Saturday with the red and blue lines mixing in East Tennessee, but will dissipate on Sunday, and we will be left with some cooler temperatures. Today we'll be experiencing partly sunny skies with a high of 86 and a low of 61. And tomorrow we'll have a chance of rain with a high of 86. This rain will continue into Saturday night with a low of 49 and into Sunday with some rain and a high of 64. The night will be low will be a low of 42, and Monday will be sunny with a high of 70. Now, story weather will come for the Vols series against Ole Miss this weekend. Saturday 6 p.m. game time will be 84 with clouds, winds, and a slight chance of rain. If you go to Lindsey Nelson, bring a rain jacket, preferably one that is orange and white. Sunday afternoon's game will see similar but colder conditions with a temperature of 63 degrees. So our weekend is a roller coaster of weather, but it should not discourage you from seeing the Vols. Now back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Gail. Well, it sounds like the sun is starting to shine a little bit more here on Rocky Top, which means it's time to start stocking up on your sunscreen.
That's right, and TVC reporter Kaylee Smith spoke with a dermatologist and esthetician to learn more about how you can keep your skin safe from the sun. Take a look.
It's that time of year. The sun is shining and your skin is burning.
I was at the beach with just my family. I stayed in the water for like 8 hours consecutively, basically, and I didn't reapply. So I got seasick because I was like in the water, and I got sunburnt.
Dermatologist Kimberly Grande says sunburns not only happen on sunny days, but on cloudy days too.
One of the things that we see a lot in the springtime is people getting sunburned. That is a sign that the skin has been damaged by the sun, and those long-term can show up as skin cancer.
Esthetician and nurse Grace Mears says 80 to 90% of aging comes directly from the sun.
Keeping sunscreen on during the day, but also when you're not in direct sunlight is super important. In our day-to-day, that's when we're getting the most sun exposure. So it can really age your skin, but also lead to skin cancer.
Experts recommend using a sunscreen SPF 30 or higher and to reapply it every 2 hours if you're outside.
Minimize sun exposure, invest in your skin when you're young because it really will come back to haunt you.
Professionals recommend visiting a dermatologist at least once a year to get your skin checked. And what if you're wanting a tan this summer? Here's what experts recommend.
There's self-tan, there's spray tans, there's selfless tanner drops, and those are a whole lot better for your skin.
To protect your skin against the sun, wear large brimmed hats, stand in the shade, grab an umbrella, and wear some sunscreen. In Knoxville, Kaylee Smith, TVC News.
A lot of important information there. As we are getting closer to summer, it is definitely important to keep sunscreen applied as you're heading out to tan or to the pool.
That's right, Molly. And speaking of pools, the water is a popular place to be this time of year, but it too carries some risks of its own. Maggie Schwarking is standing by in the studio with more summer safety tips.
Yeah, thanks guys. As students are heading to rivers, and ponds with the warmer weather, some experts warn that open water is more dangerous than it looks. With that being said, drowning is the #1 least cause to accidental deaths, especially during these warmer months now that we're in. So I had the chance to go to Douglas Lake and have a conversation about open water safety with H2O Mountain Sports owner and CEO, Christine Vestweber. She gave me some advice on how to stay safe in the water. Take a look.
Unlike pools, lakes and rivers come with unpredictable risks, like strong currents, sudden drop-offs, and limited visibility. Knowing the dangers before you hit the open water is key to ensure your safety. For owner and CEO of Smoky Mountain H2O Sports, Christine Vestweber says this is how you should stay safe.
That's probably one of the biggest things between life jackets and just awareness of what is going on.
Because when it comes to open water, small precautions can have life-altering consequences. This is what UT student Natalie Johnson said when I asked her if she still wears life jackets in open water.
Even still to this day when I go out with my brother, life jackets are always there and on.
In the state of Tennessee, everyone 12 and under has to wear a life jacket at all times, and anyone 13 and up has to have a life jacket in the boat.
It's really important. That's how it is back at home too, so that's like the rules I grew up knowing, and I think it's just keeping everyone safe and trying to remind you as you get older that life jackets are still just as important.
Vestweber said that over 90% of drownings could be prevented.
Life jackets are a key. If you don't want to drown, put your life jacket on.
Knowing these risks can help ensure a fun day on the water doesn't turn into a tragedy. In Knoxville for TVC News, I'm Maggie Schwarking.
As long as you watch your surroundings, stay hydrated, and most importantly, wear a life jacket, because if you do, you're more than likely to not drown. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Maggie.
We've brought the topic of burnout up before, but lately we're diving a bit more under the surface. Our Allie Seaton is here with us today to break it down even further.
That's right, guys. Last week we learned what burnout is and lightly covered how it may affect students like you. This week I spoke to a mental health professional and a UT assistant professor who was once in your shoes. I spent some time looking into the physical effects and what students should keep an eye out for.
All right, how was it? Okay, very cool.
Burnout is increasing in college students, and with it, the need to spot its physical signs.
I also see it in students because I went through it as a student, where I start to recognize, oh, this person has 3 internships. I can tell they're not sleeping. And that's a tough conversation because you don't ever want to tell anybody that they look tired. That's not a great thing to hear.
Shannon Scoville, assistant professor at UT, had her fair share of burnout spells in her 9 years of pursuing higher education.
I got to college, school was really hard. I was swimming 20 plus hours a week, and I wasn't going to admit that it was hard. So I started to have like acid reflux, and that transitioned into IBS, and that transitioned into a shortness of breath, which should have been a cue that, hey, you might be experiencing some anxiety.
But it wasn't just some anxiety.
But I think most people, it's probably in some form of fatigue or like body aches or like stress that's causing a headache or stomach ache, right? And it's all these kind of connected symptoms that are sort of saying like, something's off, I'm not happy, this is uncomfortable. And it's sort of like a physical warning sign saying like, hey, check engine.
Although students can't actually get their engines checked, they can take a step back. Mental Health America recommends acknowledging you're burnt out, taking breaks, and seeking support. Reporting from Knoxville, I'm Allie Seaton.
If you or someone you know is exhibiting the physical signs of burnout, be sure to look into the resources available near you. Tune in next week to learn even more about burnout and its effect on students. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Allie. Now, staying on the topic of stress and anxiety, this Wednesday was tax day, and finances are one of the biggest reasons for stress in America.
And with April being Financial Awareness Month, TVC's Kendall Lusk visited the Center for Financial Wellness to learn more about how they are helping students.
Located across from One Stop Services on the ground level of Hodges Library, the Center for Financial Wellness offers students free resources regarding their finances. Through one-on-one coaching, workshops, and online tools, the center helps students navigate budgeting, banking, and financial planning while connecting those skills to life after college.
Managing your money around budgeting and also like banking, but also understanding how this ties into like career aspirations and outcomes.
April is also Financial Literacy Month, and the center is hosting multiple events, including workshops and interactive sessions designed to make money management more approachable and accessible.
Now while they're in school, but also to help them build kind of lifelong habits around money so they can take that outside once they leave the universities.
Tools and support available year-round, the center is working to set students up for financial success long after graduation. Students can learn more about upcoming events or schedule an appointment through the Center for Financial Wellness website. For the Volunteer Channel, I'm Kendall Lusk.
And as Kendall mentioned, you can visit the Center for Financial Wellness inside Hodges Library on the ground floor. You can also schedule an appointment at financialwellness.utk.edu.
Dozens of students are getting towed and ticketed every week on UT's campus, leaving many frustrated, paying hundreds to get their cars back. But some are starting to ask, are towing companies taking advantage of these students? Our Dawson Durrett joins us now with more.
That is right, Molly and Emma. I was able to speak with Allie Sewell, a junior here at the university. Her car was almost towed at Moe's on the Strip after a 20-minute trip she took to Walgreens. Take a look. A universal struggle.
Mine was put on the tow truck and I basically got back in time before they took it away. So I was able to pay for them to drop it right there. But that was a stressful situation and I was fortunate I didn't have to go elsewhere to find my car.
Parking at the University of Tennessee.
It's frustrating. I get there are designated locations to park and there's no perfect solution because, I mean, our school has so many students and there are a ton of cars in this area. But it's just tough that it's college students having to pay, and even to park somewhere temporarily, you have to pay to park, and you pay to go to school here.
Towing is strictly enforced 24/7, especially in staff and commuter lots, or if parking on the Strip.
I saw you walk out of your car and not go in to the place, it was Moe's, to not go into Moe's, and that shouldn't sit right with me because I was like, if you're close enough to, and you're parked and camped out, and you're close enough to see me walk away from my car, you should be close enough to at least wave me down or tell me, hey, you can't park here, you need to move your car. No.
Without a warning.
No.
One student, Allie Sewell, says she became a victim of what she calls predatory towing.
It seems like their target population is college students, where a lot of these students wouldn't be able to make those ends meet to get their car back right on the spot.
But tow truck companies like Terry Floyd from Floyd's Wrecker Services say they're just doing their job. In Knoxville, Dawson Durrett, TVC News. For students, it may come down to reading the signs carefully or risk paying the price. The university offers solutions to parking, such as staying up to date with their parking and transportation apps or utilizing the T-Bus transit system. Now back to the desk.
Thanks, Dawson.
Sometimes it's sad and hard, but it's just, I guess, part of the journey.
To the lives of two international UT athletes on the men's tennis team. And we'll recap Jackson Harrington's experience at the prestigious Masters and what's next for him and the rest of the men's golf team.
Vols, the Volunteer Channel works around the clock to curate UT news, sports, and event coverage. Best way to stay on top of all of it is to follow our Instagram at TVC News Now. You can scan this QR code right here to get right to the page. All of our content is created by UT students with the Big Orange community in mind. Volunteer Channel thanks you for your support. Go Vols.
Welcome back to TVC Plus. It was an up and down week for Tennessee softball.
Now to break it all down, let's head over to Mateus and Izzy with this week's Rocky Top Sports Report.
Thanks, guys. Softball hit the road this week, taking on Kentucky in a 3-game series and taking on Duke in a battle of top 15 teams.
The Lady Vols were dominant in Lexington, sweeping away the Wildcats and allowing just 3 home runs. It was a big series for the Leach twins, Gabby and Alana, who combined for 3 home runs and drove in 6.
However, the team dropped its midweek game versus Duke 6-3 as the Blue Devils ambushed Carlin Pickens with 3 runs just 5 pitches into the game. The Lady Vols had chances to tie the game late, but they stranded the bases loaded in the 7th to end the game.
Now over to the tennis courts. The Lady Vols suffered a first-round exit at the SEC tournament after their 4-1 loss against the LSU Tigers last night. After dropping the doubles point, Tennessee looked to find some momentum in the singles matches, but fell short. Two LSU comeback wins sealed Tennessee's fate, and the Lady Vols will now have to wait and see where they will be seated for the NCAA tournament.
And now the men's tennis team traveled down to College Station for the SEC tournament. The group faced off with Ole Miss in their opening round match, but were swept 4-0. Jose Garcia and Shion Itusaki were 2 points from securing the doubles session, but they were unable to convert and fell in a tiebreaker to put Ole Miss ahead. Little success was found in the singles session as senior Ethan Musa was the lone Vol to take the opening set among the 6 matches. Alejandro Moreno did force a deciding set, but Ole Miss closed out the match before he could push the match further.
It's been a rough season for the Vols on the hard court, but facing tough challenges is something that many of the players are all too familiar with. For more, let's head over to Aubrey Curran, who's joining us outside the Good Friend Tennis Center.
Yeah, over half of the 2026 UT men's tennis team is international, but independence is nothing new to them. I actually spoke with 2 international athletes who told me that they've been living on their own since just 13 years old. But despite this, leaving their home countries behind and coming to America came with a different challenge.
We do some volleys, or we can do some volleys.
What makes 2 tennis players move across the world to a country they've never known?
My name is Boruc Skierkier. I'm from Argentina.
My name is Piotr Shekanowicz. I'm from Poland. Whenever you just fall in love in the sport, like it's all you wait to go to the tournament. Like you cannot wait to go and like play and see the friends from the tournaments. You agree?
Yeah, for me it was kind of the same. I mean, I'm from a small town in Argentina. I mean, all high school I did everything online because I was just playing tennis all day.
Piotr and Baruch were only about 6 years old when they first discovered their passion for tennis, and not much older when they told their parents they would do anything to succeed at it.
And sometimes wanting to be the best means, moving away from home, like you guys. What was that like?
Sometimes it's sad and hard, but it's just, I guess, part of the journey. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say any different. It's everything he said. Is the time zone and stuff. It's kind of hard. You kind of text somebody and then you go to sleep and they text you after 12 hours.
I just feel like home for me is where my family is, and I'm very close to my family. My parents and my 2 sisters, we are extremely close. But then I've been here for only a year, but I feel Knoxville.
Next is senior Baruch Skierkier.
Like my home.
Singles and doubles in his time at the JUCO D2.
Everything is together, kind of, so
yeah.
The brotherhood is
big.
Really helpful.
Yeah.
Even though their families are thousands of miles away, the love of the game brought them a second family they never expected.
If your families were sitting here right now, what do you think they would be saying to you?
I think that all my members just would say that they just miss me and they just every time we talk they just wish me the best.
Yeah, probably same for my family.
What would you say to them?
I think about them every day, that I miss them every day, and that everything I do, I just do it thinking about them.
Yeah, I would tell them that I really love them and I really miss them and I cannot wait to see them.
Yeah, I did ask both Baruch and Piotr if they had any regrets and if they could change anything, what would it be? And they said they don't have regrets about coming to America. They do wish their families, of course, lived a little bit closer. But again, having that second family makes it all a little bit easier. I'm going to have that full interview for you posted on our YouTube channel at the Volunteer channel shortly. So be sure to stay tuned for that. You won't want to miss it. I'm going to send it back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Aubrey.
And now over the track and field, the Vols and Lady Vols stormed through the Tennessee Invite, coming home with 7 total crowns over the weekend. Caleb Branch defended his title in the men's 110-meter hurdle, coming home with a time of 13.62 seconds. Grant Campbell took the top spot in the men's high jump, successfully clearing 2.16 meters in the event.
For the Lady Vols, the event was highlighted by the 4x400 meter relay team as Kamaya Haywood, Maria Scott, Faith Okawosi, and Junie Armstrong took victory with a time of 3:36.77. The program is back in action this weekend, but they will be spread across the country in 3 separate meets.
Now, speaking of the track, some new races will begin being held here at UT this year, but these races will be a lot faster than the races being held at the Tom Black track. For more, we will send it back to the desk.
Thanks, guys. Tennessee has started a motorsports team, and they're joining a collegiate racing league, something UT has never seen before. Our Luke Lamoury tells us more.
Not everybody is, blessed to grow up in our sport, and being on a university campus, having people talk about racing is right up my alley.
A green flag is waving for a club never before seen on a college campus. Thanks to Jacob Mink, the University of Tennessee has a race car team in the Collegiate Racing Series.
Seeing CRS, the kind of traction they had when we came in, it was an absolute no-brainer that I needed to have Tennessee in this program.
Rocky Top Racing will race other colleges across the country on some of the nation's best tracks, and they've already got support from one of the best in the business.
I know that what they do here at the University of Tennessee is normally second to none. They go all in.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is a NASCAR driver and Daytona 500 winner, and knows how crucial chances like this are for young drivers to make it long-term in racing.
Programs like this are giving kids opportunities that didn't have the opportunity when they were young to learn more about motorsports.
And while you might think these cars run in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, the vehicles are actually cheaper than most new cars on the market. And it's an intentional decision, says CRS founder Jack Hobbs.
How did it come to be so cost effective for you guys?
Yeah, so when building this, obviously cost is a big factor that's going to limit college teams. Is how do we convince them traditionally to go raise over $100,000 just to get into the entry level of racing?
And it put the key in the ignition for Rocky Top Racing to go full throttle.
This car, at the end of the day, it is the pride of University of Tennessee. And when you think of Knoxville, you think of Tennessee. So it's just a lot of selling the idea of, hey, we have a collegiate motorsports team at Tennessee. This is something that's never been done before.
For TVC News, I'm Luke Lamoury.
The league will race 3 times across 2026. The next one at Atlanta near the end of July.
The more comfortable I was with who I am and my voice, life was so much more peaceful.
Vols, the Volunteer Channel works around the clock to curate UT news, sports, and event coverage. Best way to stay on top of all of it is to follow our Instagram at TVC News Now. You can scan this QR code right here to get right to the page. All of our content is created by UT students with the Big Orange community in mind. Volunteer Channel thanks you for your support. Go Vols.
Hey Vols, and welcome back. I'm Gail Fanning here to give you your full weather report, and it's a bit all over the place. Today we'll see partly sunny skies with a high of 86 and a low of 61. Tomorrow we'll see a chance of rain with a high of 86 and a low of 49. And this low will continue into Sunday with a slight chance of rain, then some sun and a high of 64. All this is in line with the storm we will be experiencing this weekend. Today will be our preparation, which is coming from the Midwest. Tomorrow will put us right in the middle of this cold front here in East Tennessee, and Sunday we will see the end of the storm. But right in the middle of the storm, we will see some wind gusts in the afternoon. At 12 p.m. we will have experienced 18 miles per hour winds. 3 p.m. we'll have 24, and 6 p.m. at 21. And of course, we'll have some rain with the storm. At 3 p.m. we'll have 0.05 inches of rain. At 9 p.m. we'll have 0.2, and at 3 a.m. at 0.21 inches. These numbers will be constant until Sunday morning, but these numbers will not be enough to combat our drought in East Tennessee. Eastern Knox County is now abnormally dry, and Western Knox County is in a moderate drought, and the Plateaus and Mountain counties are now in a severe drought. All of these are in yellow, light orange, and dark orange, respectively. These conditions for weather will improve for the upcoming week with a sunny Monday with a high of 70 and a low of 46. Tuesday, we will see some partly sunny skies with a high of 76 and a low of 51. And Wednesday, we'll continue with the sun and the clouds with a high of 78. However, if you plan to attend the Vols baseball series against Ole Miss, you may need a rain jacket, especially if it's orange and white. After all, it is the Checker Lindsey Nelson Stadium game. Saturday evening 6 p.m. game will be 84 with clouds, winds, and a slight chance of rain. And Sunday afternoon's 1 p.m. game will have a chance of rain and winds with a temperature of 63. So our weekend will be a roller coaster. Sun, winds, stormy weather, it will be wild. Now back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Gail. UT's 40 under 40 class of 2026 was announced earlier this year, and some big names on the roster. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey personality, and personal finance expert sat down with TVC to give her keys to success.
Rachel Cruz, Ramsey personality, and CCI alum, found her passion for public speaking before she stepped foot on UT's campus.
Back in high school, started actually traveling with my dad and speaking at events. And so I kind of got this knack for public speaking that I was like, this is kind of fun. That passion and studying communications and then it colliding with this real world experience I had with people my own age when it comes to finances and money, just thinking, okay, I could maybe bring some education to the next generation.
Her father, Dave Ramsey, CEO of Ramsey Solutions and personal finance expert, remembers Rachel as someone born for the stage.
We put her on stage almost immediately. Yeah, she was always the kid that's just fun and funny and never met a stranger, and her eyes are always got a light in them, and obviously matured into a wonderful young woman.
Cruz ultimately learned that the key to success is to just be yourself.
I think for so long in my career, I was trying to figure out how to say something or like would sound good, or even my dad, who's like such a big personality, like his jokes. I was like, sometimes I would use his jokes on stage, right? I wanted it to work so bad. The more comfortable I was with who I am and my voice, life was so much more peaceful.
And her induction into UT's 40 under 40 class of 2026 is just the icing on the cake.
I know, I felt so honored. I was like, oh, I love UT, so just so thankful that, yeah, they recognized me. So kind.
In Franklin, Tennessee, Emma Browning, TVC News.
Another member inducted into UT's 40 under 40 is DVM and content creator Molly Brinkman. Our Alexa Durbin is live outside the College of Veterinary Medicine to share what she's learned about
another
Dr.
alumni we
Brinkman.
want to highlight on UT's 40 under 40 list is Dr. Molly Brinkman. Now, she graduated from the College of Veterinary Medicine back in 2015 and has ever since found a love and a passion of taking care of small and large animals, and she's actually about to start up her own practice out in Middle Tennessee. And I was able to sit down with her, take a look at the facility. It's not ready just yet, but she says it will probably in September. Now, if you're a student wondering what that transition is like from graduation to career, she describes what hers was like. Take a look.
All right. We found this building for sale, and it's kind of the perfect building for what we're doing. But no, did I think I was going to buy an 11,000 square foot building in Cool Springs and make a vet clinic? No, I wasn't thinking that. Just wanted to be a vet. But I knew I wanted to make a difference, and I think this is a way we can do that.
Dr. Molly Brinkman's passion has always been to help others.
Vet med is a really special job, and I think it's because we just get to help pets, but we also help people. And then just knowing how important a pet is to someone and being able to keep them healthy or save their life and keep them with them is my favorite part.
Like most of her patients, she knows what it's like to lose someone close to her heart.
I have wanted to do something with the practice to honor my late son who passed away as a baby, and I wanted to tie that into like helping pet owners as they grieve. So this is going to become Beau's Garden. There's some kind of nuanced things we're doing with the design of the practice that are just sort of like a hat tip to Beau that no one would know unless I explained it to them, but we wanted to have something that's very intentional and designated for him that helps people, because so much about our story with him has helped people.
Her career proves that trusting your passion can pave your path.
When I graduated from undergrad at UT, I was really sad because I didn't get into vet school the first time I applied. And I thought that was like the worst thing that ever happened to me. So if I could go back then, I would just say, everything works out the way it's supposed to work out. And there's going to be hard things, but it all will work out. And life is hard, but dogs really do help. And being a vet med helps.
Yeah, Dr. Molly says that if you have your passion and you trust in yourself, that will take you far, and her career has definitely shown that. And sometimes at the end of the day, dogs and animals simply do help. Now, you can follow along with Dr. Molly's career. She's big on social media at Dr. Molly Says on Instagram and TikTok, where she actually teaches her followers about some misconceptions in the veterinarian world, and she wants to make that easier for you. So you can follow along with her right there. We're going to take it back to the desk.
Thanks, Alexa. A professor of practice here at UT is making her mark. Dr. Melanie Pfizer just released her investigative report on the Tennessee Valley Authority. The TVA, one of the largest providers of energy in the U.S., was sued in 2024 by Pfizer for not giving her information about the company's involvement with cryptocurrency and Bitcoin companies.
You know, I didn't anticipate filing a lawsuit, but it just seemed very obvious to me once I got those documents back that there was something there that was in the public interest.
Jobs. The case came to a settlement in late 2025, and she did end up getting that information, leading to releasing an investigative report just this week. To find out more information about this case, you can tune into TVC News next Friday with more from Dr. Pfizer.
Okay. That is all we have time for in this episode of TVC Plus. For more news coverage, be sure to tune in to TVC News at 12:30 on the CW channel.
And also follow us on Instagram at TVC News Now to stay up to date on all things happening here on Rocky Top. Until next time, I'm Molly Pokewall.
And I'm Emma Kostal. And as always, go Vols!